Does your chapter find it easy to fill every office every year? Does your nominating committee brag that it is the easiest committee because sisters say yes the first time they're asked? If your nominating committee has to ask again and again, we have good news for you. We are here to help you learn more of the strategies that the chapters use to attract officers. Let's check in with two sisters as they observe a successful nominating committee chairman while she lines up new officers for her chapter.
Yeah, okay. Sure. I appreciate your effort. Thanks so much. Ugh,
What's up?
that was my nominating committee chairman. She called to tell me they can't find sisters to fill every office. I'm glad she called, but I could sure use some good advice to give her.
I have a great resource for you. Last year, the officer and nominating committee for my chapter watched a great PowerPoint called Create a Flowing Pipeline of Chapter Leaders.
Really? Where did they find that resource?
It's on the International Chapter website under Leadership Development. They told me it has made all the difference in helping them recruit new officers. I am about to Zoom with our amazing nominating committee chairman. She puts all the tips from that leadership PowerPoint into use when she talks to potential officers. Let me send you the link so that you can watch Marilyn in action.
Bye, guys. Have a great weekend. Hello, Laura. It is so good to see you. Your support and enthusiasm for our chapter has always impressed me.
Well, thank you.
I was especially pleased to see how you participated with Susie during our shadow and officer program last year. You paid close attention when each officer explained her duties and talked about how much time she devoted to her office.
Yes, I thought that program was really interesting. I always thought the president spent hours and hours on P.E.O. every week. And when Susie told us she's just spent about an hour contacting committee chairmen by email, and then another hour setting up the agenda for each meeting, that really surprised me.
You also seemed really surprised that the president's book has a script for the entire meeting. I will never forget your look of astonishment.
Oh, you remember that?
Yes, of course. And I just have to ask, have you thought about putting your love for PEO into action as our next chapter president?
Oh, Marilyn, you're so kind to think of me, but I don't know. Ooh, Susie's been Susie's done such a beautiful job. I don't know if I could be as good a president. Oh, and the technology. I'm not so good at that. I don't know about that. And Bill and I go away each winter. I'd miss at least one, maybe two meetings. Doesn't the president have to be there at every meeting?
Pat has agreed to be vice president and will fill in for any meetings you might need to miss. Also, our tech contact, Renee, will continue to handle the technology for us.
Oh, well, that would be wonderful.
Renee can even help you find and watch the online training for officers on the International Chapter website.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Do they have a video for every office?
Video training is all set up for president, recording secretary, corresponding secretary, and treasurer.
So the officers who are new could watch those videos?
Absolutely. Susie watched the video on how to be president before she was even installed, and she said it was really helpful. Also, no one will compare you to Susie because you have your own style and plenty of support in the chapter. Taking on the office of president is a gift you can give to all your chapter sisters.
Gracious, you make it sound so inviting. Knowing Pat can take over if I can't attend a meeting and delegating the technology to Renee really takes the pressure off. You sound so sure I can do this. I guess I'll just have to give it a try.
That's terrific. I know you'll do a wonderful job. And thank you for saying yes to P.E.O. Susie has promised to guide you as you take over the role of president.
Oh, that's wonderful.
What a nice surprise to see you two. I'm just wrapping up our slate of officers.
That's why I invited Holly to watch you in action. Last year, you easily lined up a full slate of officers. It's obvious that your enthusiasm for PEO makes you the perfect person to ask your sisters to serve.
Actually, our success at finding officers might be tied to our shadow and officer program and our officer appreciation effort.
Please tell me more about these programs. How do they encourage sisters to hold a chapter office?
Well, Shadow and Officer is a simple program that we started last year. At certain meetings, we invite sisters to try on an office. Once the president opens the meeting, we invite a volunteer to step up and watch over her shoulder as she moves through the first few pages of the president's book. The look on a sister's face when she realizes that there is a script to follow is just so much fun to watch. It has really made filling the position of president so much easier.
That's great!
The treasurer may ask her shadow to call the roll or read the monthly report. The recording secretary can share the meeting template with her shadow. Then they both take minutes. If they're meeting in person, they can sit close to each other, of course, while social distancing, so the shadow can see what is written. If they're meeting virtually, they can connect after the meeting, see what each other wrote. One sister thought she was going to have to record every word of the meeting. When she saw that only what was done, not what was said, went into the minutes template, she offered to serve the following year.
Wow, it sounds like this mini test drive of serving in an office takes the mystery out of it. What a great opportunity to serve by trying on an office in a safe, limited fashion.
You were so right. Sisters tend to be frightened of what they don't know. We just have to remember, knowledge is power.
I was struck by how your current president has agreed to support the new president. It sounds like that might be another one of your chapter strategies for success.
Oh gosh, yes. Nobody wants to take on a new job and they think they have to fly solo. Everyone who has ever served in a position can help those who are new to an office. We sometimes forget what loving resources our sisters are.
You're absolutely right. When I was fairly new to PEO, I agreed to serve as treasurer. But at the beginning of the year, I had trouble setting up my monthly report form. I was embarrassed and frustrated. A sister who had been treasurer years before offered to lend me a hand. That dear woman patiently helped me with my first monthly report. From there on, it was smooth sailing every single month. She was so patient and loving, I will never forget her kindness. When I asked her what I could do to repay her, she told me to help somebody else when an opportunity came along. And you know what? I've actually done that more than once. It's the sisterly way to pay it forward.
And it's not just chapter sisters who have a new officer's back. Sisters on state, provincial, or district executive boards are just a phone call or email away.
That is so true.
Now that I have learned to explore the International Chapter website, I have found tremendous resources for officers. The online video training is so helpful.
I always recommend those videos to the new officers and those who have had the job before. It's a great way to brush up on each office.
Also, when I call prospective officers, I answer as many questions as I can to help them understand the duties and resources for each office. I remind them that our officers work as a team and they all contribute to the success of the chapter. In fact, our chapter members make a point of letting the officers know how much they appreciate them.
How do they do that?
Well, the past president reminds our sisters to take turns sending little notes of encouragement and thanks to the officers after each meeting. That helps the officers see their contributions as acts of loving service.
That's a great idea. When members see that the officer receives genuine appreciation, they are far more likely to volunteer.
None of us feel pressured to take on a leadership role in our chapter, but we are certainly encouraged. Taking an office is just one of the ways we can grow as individuals and fulfill our objects and aims.
So true.
We talk about growth in charity and growth in knowledge, and I have to say that PEO has helped me grow in both. I cannot attend all of our meetings, but I can wield a hot phone. I'll continue to serve on the nominating committee as long as my chapter needs me.
They are so lucky to have you.
Well, I must say that I was feeling concerned that we were still having trouble filling a full slate of officers. But you have outlined a clear path to success that I can share with the nominating committee. Let me summarize your 5 strategies. First, answer their questions about the duties of the office and show them the online resources. Second, remind sisters they never have to fly solo. Third, emphasize that leadership is an opportunity for personal growth and enrichment. Fourth, let them know how much their sisters will appreciate their contributions. And last, and most important, remind them this is a great way to express their love for PEO. Those are clearly the secrets to your success. Thank you for being such an inspiration.
I'm always happy to help.
Thank you, Sue, for showing me a PEO dynamo in action.
I'm always happy to help.
So there you have it, 5 ideas for you to try with your chapter. Number 1, use a shadow and officer approach to let sisters see firsthand the duties of an officer. 2, line up a previous officer to serve as a coach and mentor for the new officer. 3, let sisters know that serving as a leader brings personal growth and enhancement. 4, show appreciation for every officer so that she realizes the importance of her contribution to her sisters. And 5, provide everyone an opportunity to share their love of the sisterhood through service. If your chapters have other tips and strategies for you to fill the officer positions, please share them with your SPD organizers so that they can share them with other chapters. And thank you for everything that you do for PEO.